We've been talking for years now about the MCU versus the DCEU, and specifically, two of the biggest powerhouses, Superman versus Captain Marvel, who would win in a fight between the two juggernauts. And now with the DCEU officially over and the Marvels out now, I think it's time to officially put this debate to rest. Let's talk about why Superman versus Captain Marvel isn't even close, and maybe how it never was. What's up guys, this is Danco. I do fight breakdowns, power ranking videos, or more deep dives into your favorite characters and franchises, with new videos every week. So if that seems great to you, well, sit back and enjoy the video. Hit that like button if you want to, or hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Krypton is dying, and no one really wants to admit it. Well, no one except Jor-El and Lara. They're the only ones that seem to have any clue what's going on, and their only goal from then on is to save their son Kal-El. So they built a baby-sized spaceship and just launched him out into outer space, sent him hurtling towards Earth. I don't know why they didn't decide to build a rocket big enough for all three of them, but I guess they figured they would just kill themselves and their alien son was better off being raised by some random strangers in the middle of Kansas. They really lucked out too, because Kal landed on Jonathan and Martha Kent's front yard. And so instead of becoming a tyrannical dictator with godlike powers, he became Clark Kent, Superman, the world's greatest hero. Thanks to being exposed to a yellow sun, Superman, like all Kryptonians, gained godlike powers. Like, literally godlike. He's the most powerful member of the Justice League. He's easily more powerful than Wonder Woman. He's even on par with Hot Boy Zeus over here. And one of his chief powers is super strength. And Clark has done a whole lot of impressive stuff. He's definitely put those muscles to good use. But his best showing was shifting a whole tectonic plate in order to prevent an earthquake. And even though this happened off screen, and all we have to base it on is a newspaper article, why not include it? I mean, it's really not that crazy. Thor is literally doing stuff like this, and we've seen other Supermen do similar things. And in order to do something like this, to shift a tectonic plate, well, it would require 10 teratons of force and energy, or country level strength, meaning that you could destroy a country with a punch, if a country was small enough where you could destroy it with a punch. So some crazy strength. And all that translates over to how Superman throws a hit too. I mean, just look at the clashes between him and General Zod, and all the destruction that caused. Look at how he was able to send Doomsday flying up into outer space, or just send him sailing. And then look at how he destroyed Steppenwolf. Steps is pretty tough too. He's fought against his own Doomsday in the past, and even destroyed a moon in their fight. He survived the destruction of a moon. Couldn't stand up against Superman and his punches. And here's the thing, Superman isn't just crazy strong. He's not just able to throw a mean punch, but like the best fighters out there, he can definitely take a punch too. Like, look at his fight against Doomsday. This monster's sole purpose was to kill Superman. He saw one statue of the big guy and he was done. It was all over from that point. He was gonna kill him. And at the beginning of the fight, Superman is actually doing really well. Gets him out of Metropolis, gets him out of the city, gets him up into outer space. And of course, that's when the military decided to launch a nuclear missile at his face. Probably not the best idea, especially in hindsight. But here's the thing, while Superman was injured, he took the blast. He took a nuclear bomb to the face. It was right back in the fight just a few moments later. It's even possible that Superman was weakened from the kryptonite from Batman earlier on in the night. So if that wasn't in play, then he might have just taken that nuclear bomb no problem. And that's not really the only time Superman has taken an attack on that just astronomical level, because there's also the World Engine. The World Engine is a Kryptonian terraforming machine used specifically to convert a planet's atmosphere and the literal composition of the world itself to become more like Krypton, making it so that Kryptonians can easily move on in there and colonize the place. Just the World Engine landing down was enough to completely annihilate a mountain. So that already means that it's made out of something that could withstand a mountain-destroying impact. And then not only did Superman destroy it, well, he did it while weakened and standing under a gravity beam that was single-handedly terraforming the Earth. And I mean, yeah, it was a slow burn, but this was gravity that was altering and changing the entire planet itself. Superman was at ground zero. He was taking all of that force, all of that power, and it was actually overpowering it and flying through it. That's crazy. But here's the thing, Superman isn't just strong, and he isn't just tough. No, those aren't the only two things he has going for him. He actually got a whole bunch of powers, like his freeze breath, or his hypersonic scream, or his heat vision. Oh man, his heat vision. He's able to slice clean through metal and blow stuff up. And we used to believe that he could reach temperatures as hot as 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But now, well, Superman's heat vision might actually be way hotter, way more powerful. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, we learned that Kryptonian metal could withstand its core being superheated to 3.5 million Kelvin. No problem. Which is absolutely no laughing matter. The center of our sun is only 1.1 million Kelvin. And yet, here's Superman consistently burning and cutting through Kryptonian metal. So that's Superman, the big man himself, the ultimate powerhouse in the DCEU. Truly unrivaled. But Captain Marvel, well, she's got some massive amps over the year. She's becoming a power unlike any other. And as of right now, she would win this fight and it wouldn't even be close. Through her exposure to the Tesseract's power with the destruction of the Lightspeed engine, Carol gained the ability to produce cosmic energies at a nearly infinite level, and manipulate them any way she wants. On top of that, Danvers was later granted superhuman strength, speed, endurance, and reflexes following her blood transfusion with the Kree warrior Yon-Rogg on the planet Hala, which essentially turned her into a Kree-human hybrid. Many years later, Danvers gained much greater control over her powers, making her one of the mightiest heroes in the universe, allowed her to compete for being as powerful as Thanos, as she was briefly able to overpower the Mad Titan. And Captain Marvel has only gotten more and more powerful since then. And the first thing we should probably take a look at is Captain Marvel's insane superhuman strength. And I really mean insane. When she saved Tony Stark and Nebula, which is a really underrated feat, she easily pushed their ship across an entire galaxy like it was nothing. She's been able to casually stop massive ballistic warhead missiles and overpower them like they're nothing. And she can consistently fly straight through some absolutely massive warships and bring them down all by herself. Carol is no stranger to overpowering some absolutely massive things and really throwing her strength around. She's also no stranger to fighting against some seriously powerful characters, namely Thanos, Thor, and Ultron. Now, yes, I know this is a different alternate version of Captain Marvel within the MCU, but like Loki and this version of Loki, for all intents and purposes, they are the same. This animated Carol actually hasn't shown anything too extremely impressive that I can't believe live action Carol couldn't pull off the same thing. It's just that you're not really restricted by budget when it comes to animation. So we'll lump all these feats in together. So first up, Thanos. Biggest threat to the universe. Biggest bad out there. Well, Captain Marvel, she managed to keep Thanos from using the Infinity Gauntlet, fight against him, even overpower him. Overpower Thanos. Only person we've ever seen do that. I mean, this is what Thanos did to the Hulk. Thanos outmuscled the Hulk. Couldn't outmuscle Captain Marvel. Secondly, there's Thor. And Thor and Captain Marvel were literally sending each other flying across countries and entire continents. And that isn't even their true power. No, Carol was actually holding back that entire fight and said as much. She wasn't using her full power in the fight, and if she was, she could have definitely beat him. It just might have accidentally destroyed the planet in the process too. And then lastly, Infinity Ultron. And this is the one guy that Captain Marvel actually couldn't beat, although not for lack of trying. To start off the fight, Carol bull rushes Ultron down to the core of Xandar, a planet that's bigger than Earth. And even that alone is a country level feat at the least. And that's just the start of the fight. From there, Captain Marvel just starts wailing on Ultron while they're in the planet's core, an area where the pressure is so intense that it would take over 7,000 tons of force just to move. Captain Marvel is punching Ultron at super speed, unleashing shockwaves for thousands of miles around. That is absolutely insane. But I think the craziest thing here has to be Captain Marvel actually cracking Infinity Ultron's helmet, presumably hurting him, and this puts her at the next level when it comes to physicals in the MCU. I mean, Ultron was taking hits from Utah the Watcher and Strange Supreme. This is basically the MCU's version of Thor knocking out the Phoenix Force. It's literally insane. And she did all of that with just her 2 fists and her brute strength. And the funny thing, Carol is actually just as tough as well. I mean, remember those ballistic missiles she was able to easily push back? Well, Captain Marvel actually survived the explosion from all those missiles as well. Now, mind you, these missiles were shot into the middle of the desert, far from any civilization, but with the intent to wipe out said civilization. So that has to mean that their range and power is just insane. Plus, we actually got to see some of them in action. They legitimately are wiping out cities. Captain Marvel no-sold about 20 of them. Captain Marvel also took what is, for all intents and purposes, the most powerful Power Stone attack to date. Considering the fact that Thanos is not holding back here, and the fact that the Power Stone is shown on screen, and as statements to destroy things even above planets, this should be considered extremely impressive. Especially considering that Thor was screaming out in pain from all the just one small blast to the head. Captain Marvel took a much more powerful punch here. Also, Captain Marvel was sent flying across countries and continents by Thor, someone who's been able to destroy planets before. But I think the 2 greatest durability feats actually come from the Marvels. And trust me, they are absolutely insane. So the villain in the movie is Dar-Benn. She's not really that memorable. She's using quantum bands to tear open faulty jump points across the universe in order to steal different planets' resources. Captain Marvel tries to stop her, and Dar-Benn unleashes one absolutely massive blast, literally tearing a hole in the fabric of space and time. Captain Marvel took that explosion. Carol survived an explosion that tore a hole through space-time. That is one of the craziest durability feats that we've ever seen. But on top of that, Carol was able to fly into the core of a star and come out completely unfazed. This is just made all the more impressive because we can scale it directly to Thor. He was nearly killed by taking a small blast from a recently rekindled star. Captain Marvel was able to fly directly to the core of a sun, rekindle it herself, and come out completely unfazed. It's absolutely nuts, and all the more impressive because we do have that direct comparison there. Now, Captain Marvel is faster than the speed of light. She got her powers from a literal light speed engine. We've seen her fly faster than light before. We've seen her travel across galaxies in days, or even minutes, or even seconds. That's all impressive, but I actually want to spend more time talking about her energy powers. Now, Carol's energy powers work in several different ways. Namely, she can absorb energy and unleash energy. And when I say absorb energy, I mean being able to absorb power straight from the Infinity Gauntlet. This is a really underappreciated feat, as Captain Marvel literally absorbs the power coming off the Infinity Stones, amping herself to levels we've never even seen before. Meaning that theoretically, with the right power source on hand, Carol could even be more powerful than any feat we've already seen her do. And then there's Carol's energy output, her energy blast. She's been able to easily destroy Kree ships, destroy those things like it's nothing. She is able to blast Thanos backwards and stagger him, blast Infinity Ultron back and stagger him. Her energy blasts are really nothing to scoff at. But there are two feats that come in the Marvels that really showcase her energy powers. We've already talked about both of them, breaking space-time and messing with the star. Now, Dar-Benn was able to break space-time herself with an explosion from the quantum bands. But in order to mend the break, they had to recreate the same kind of energy output. Now, you could say that half of the energy came from Ms. Marvel while she was using the quantum bands, but even if Captain Marvel was only supplying half the energy required to literally break the space-time continuum, that is still absolutely insane. And maybe even the crazier one, Captain Marvel literally kickstarted a sun. This has to be one of the craziest things you'll ever see in any live-action movie, well, ever. And she did it so casually. Now, creating a star, or in this case restarting a star, requires an immense amount of energy, as stars are formed through the process of nuclear fusion. We don't know exactly how big the star on Hala was, but the best we can figure, the energy required would be equivalent to the energy output of the star itself over the span of several 100,000 years. So yeah, this is an absolutely unprecedented feat that we're talking about here. So let's just go over this. Superman is maxing out with strength by shifting tectonic plates. Incredibly impressive. But there have been statements of Captain Marvel being strong enough to move whole moons. And with her fight against Ultron, she's definitely able to scale to tectonic plates as well. When it comes to durability, you can argue that Superman has survived world-altering powers before, but we also saw that he couldn't survive a point-blank mother box explosion. There's definitely limits to his durability. But with Captain Marvel, well, she survived a point-blank explosion that tore a hole in space-time, and even flew straight to the core of a star and wasn't phased at all. She's much, much tougher than Superman. And conversely, speed isn't that definite for Superman anymore either. Captain Marvel has regularly shown the ability to move at light speed, and she's done it so consistently that now I'm really debating whether or not Superman can just completely statue her and speed blitz her. Then of course, Carol's energy powers. Reigniting a star, supplying enough power to break a hole in space-time, that's the kind of energy powers that we've never seen from Superman. With her fights against Thanos and Ultron backing her, I think Captain Marvel can definitely take Superman. It's not even close. For the longest time, I thought Superman was the be-all, end-all between both these universes. This untouchable god that no one was going to be able to overpower. But now it's all been completely flipped on its head. Captain Marvel is so powerful now that a fight between her and Superman isn't even close. And that's saying something. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're gonna see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.